Okay, and now I have the pleasure to present Rebecca Schmidt, who Child Casey, this race is dedicated to, and she's going to say a few words about supporting our youth and about her story.
Hi there. My name is Rebecca Schmidt. Thank you for being here today and for celebrating Pride and showing support and raising funds for the Davis Phoenix Coalition. I'm a UC Davis alumni, so it's an honor to have today's event dedicated to my daughter, Sage Casey. Sage was 14 years old and pansexual and gender fluid, and they took their own life a year ago this month. The pressures of not being fully accepted for who they were caused mental health issues that Sage couldn't overcome, and I lost my child as a result of it. Now when I see rainbows, I'm reminded that Sage is saying hello to me from somewhere up above. Sage and their brother Zach and I and our whole crazy crew of people that are here came to run this race the first time in 2016, and it was Sage's first 10K. I asked a good friend of mine that's a runner if she would run this race with Sage because I surely couldn't do it. And she said, actually I just asked her for any 10K, and she said, come do Davis Pride, it's awesome. And she was totally right. So the weekend before this race, Sage and I did a different 10K together, a different race together up in Santa Rosa where we live. It was the human race, and it was we were doing it in honor of a friend of mine who'd lost her daughter. And I didn't know at that time what a rock she would become. We ran that in honor of the Ruthie Lou Foundation. And Sage was gonna run that 10K, and she took off and quickly got intimidated by a group of runners who were really great and dropped back and walked with me. So going into this race, Sage was totally intimidated. And so when we got here that day, she had zero confidence going into it. But when we ran that race, Sage ended up finishing and winning the whole women's division that day. She was so pumped to be here by the energy that was here and the great crowd that was here. It was such a great event, and so by the time they finished and had won the division, they were texting me from the finish line saying, Mom, they're doing awards and I think I won, where are you? And we had actually stopped at Dutch Brothers all the way back because I'm not really much of an athlete. And I was like, well, we're coming, but we're almost there. So it was such a great event, and it wasn't just a great athletic accomplishment for Sage, but it was a great personal victory for Sage as well, because this was the first place that Sage felt like they were really in a place that there were a lot of people like them that saw them for who they were and accepted them for who they were. And it felt so good to them. And I can't thank all of you enough for giving them that feeling, because you did that as a community here in Davis, which makes me really proud as an Aggie, and as an LGBTQ community, but also as a community of just diverse human beings that came together here from different walks of life. And what Sage did was took that feeling and tried to give it to other people after that day. They noticed who seemed off, who needed a friend, who wasn't included, and they tried to make an effort to connect, to speak up, to reach out, and to make it right. And I think that was so important to Sage because it was what they desperately needed in their life. And I think it's what we all need, it's what our kids need. Someone to connect, someone to reach out, someone to speak up when something isn't right. It's what Mikey needed, it's what Sage needs. Someone to show a little love, someone to be kind. So I'm gonna ask that in honor of Sage, in honor of Mikey, in honor of every LGBTQ teen, child who's all struggling, that we go out from here today and do that. This is an amazing community, and we brought it all here together today, and I'm asking that we extend it from here and take it with us from here. At the root of it all, we're just people with different stories, and we need to make an effort to connect, to reach out, to speak up when something isn't right, and to speak up when something is right, because there's nothing more powerful than positivity. Let's be positive, be kind, it's free, show some love, have fun out there today, because this is a fantastic festival. When you see rainbows, do some Sage spotting. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for honoring Sage today. Happy Pride. ride, everybody.